Born into a legacy of fame and physical strength, Zilla Fatu, known widely as Zilla Fatu, was no stranger to the spotlight. As the son of the late WWE superstar Umaga, a fierce warrior in the ring, Zilla carried not only the bloodline of wrestling royalty but also the weight of expectation, pain, and a storm of inner conflict. But his most profound transformation wouldn't come in the squared circle. It would unfold behind bars, in the silence of a prison cell, and culminate in the peaceful declaration of Kalma. Zilla's early life was marred by rebellion, impulsive decisions, and the pressure of his father's fame. At just 15 years old, he found himself entangled in crime, charged with aggravated robbery, and sentenced to 6 years in a Texas penitentiary. For most, prison marks the end of freedom, but for Zilla, it was the beginning of a spiritual awakening. In the cold, harsh corridors of confinement, surrounded by hardened men and broken spirits, Zilla began to notice something different. Certain inmates carried themselves with peace, discipline, and purpose. They were Muslims. He observed their routines, their 5 daily prayers, their restraint in speech and behavior. Something about their consistency and submission to a higher power sparked curiosity in his heart. Among them were 2 inmates named Casey and Lukman, who not only became his companions but also his spiritual guides. They introduced him to Islam, not by preaching, but by living. Through them, Zilla learned about Tawheed, the oneness of God, Salah, prayer, and the beauty of surrendering ego before the Almighty. They discussed stories of the prophets, the discipline of the Prophet Muhammad, and how even the most sinful hearts could be cleansed by sincere repentance. Zilla began watching videos about Islam, reading Quranic translations, and questioning everything he thought he knew. As the months turned into years, a powerful transformation began within him. He once admitted in a later interview that he started to feel the weight of his sins, and the light of a possible new path. I saw the discipline, the order, the peace they had, he would later say. That's what I needed. On April 3, 2022, shortly after his release from prison, Zilla Fatu embraced Islam by reciting the Shahadah, the declaration of faith. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Though he didn't record the moment publicly, he shared that it was one of the most emotional and significant days of his life. He felt like he was being reborn, not as the son of a wrestling legend, but as a humble servant of God. What followed was a gradual shift in every aspect of his life. He began praying 5 times a day, attending Jumu'ah prayers, and studying more deeply about his new faith. On his YouTube channel, he shared parts of his story in a video titled, My Journey to Islam, in which he reflected on his past, his imprisonment, and how Allah guided him to the straight path. I'm not perfect, he said. But Islam gave me a structure, and now I'm working on being better, day by day. Zilla Fatu's story mirrors the divine promise found in the Quran. Greater than, indeed, Allah guides whom He wills to a straight path. Surah Al-Baqarah, 2-213. And again, greater than, say to those who have disbelieved, if they cease, what has previously occurred will be forgiven for them. Surah Al-Anfal, 8:38. His journey also echoes the words of the Prophet Muhammad. Greater than, Islam wipes out whatever sins came before it. Sahih Muslim, Hadith 121. As the son of a public figure, many expected him to follow his father's footsteps into the wrestling world. And he tried. He joined Reality of Wrestling, the wrestling school run by WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. But Zilla soon realized that Allah had something greater in store for him. He took a step back from the wrestling scene, choosing instead to focus on his spiritual growth and guiding others toward the light he had found. Now, Zilla uses his platform not to promote fame or athleticism, but to spread the message of Islam, redemption, and discipline. He speaks to young people, especially those caught in crime, addiction, and hopelessness, telling them that transformation is possible, that Allah is most forgiving, and that peace is not found in wealth or attention, but in surrendering to the Creator. Today, When people look at Zilla Fatu, they don't just see the son of a WWE legend, they see a man redeemed, a soul reformed by faith, and a beacon of hope for those still walking through the darkness he once knew so well. His journey is a reminder that even in the lowest places, Allah's mercy can reach, and the most broken hearts can become the most beautifully guided.